you doing, James?
Oh,
1980s called. They want their exaggeration back.
Today we're talking about rib sprains.
Join us once he comes down. You better?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the 50 Shades of Pain show, where we empower our community by demystifying pain, both physical and emotional, to give you the tools that you need for optimal health. I'm Dr. Donish, Medical Director of Wellward here in Lexington, and I'm here with my co-host, Dr. James Escaloni, who apparently had a rib sprain this weekend.
Oh yes, doing the usual physical stuff to keep myself healthy. I always go just a little bit too much. But my injuries are your benefit because I learn about how to take care of it, we discuss it, and then teach you how to not be like me.
That's true. That's truly one of our strengths, is that among our staff, we're hurting each other so frequently. Not each other, but we're getting hurt so frequently. We get exposure to literally every types of injuries and pain. Mm-hmm. And rib sprains is one of those where I even had some disbelief that this happens until I had a rib sprain myself. And then I was like, oh, this can happen. And they can happen really in the front and the back. I mean, your ribs are, they're big levers, and where they anchor in the front and where they anchor in the back, if they're stable, it's a great support system for your spine. But the reality is that if one end comes a little bit loose or undone, then it becomes this mobile lever, and it puts a tremendous amount of stress on the other side of the fence.
Mm-hmm. You can feel pain every single time you take a breath, and so, fun fact, 15 to 22,000 times a day, you are feeling that rib.
Really, 15 to 22,000 times?
Yep, that's the average.
That's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So our ribs are held in place by two forms of support structures. One is cartilage, where the front end is, there's a cartilaginous connector between your rib and your sternum. Cartilage is the kind of squishy structure that has support but is flexible, kind of like in your nose and in your ears. You've got it elsewhere in the body. Structures like your what's that structure called on top of bone inside of joints?
Cartilage?
Cartilage. What cushions or what lubricates bone-to-bone connections is cartilage. And so the purpose of cartilage is it's a protein that holds on to a lot of water, which makes it nice and squishy and bouncy. It's kind of like shock absorbers that are more flexible and lenient than, or forgiving than, hard bone is. So you need that for your chest, so it can expand and contract when you breathe, or if you take a small impact, it can take a little bit of that cushion and prevent your ribs from breaking.
It helps protect things. Yeah.
Now the second structure that holds things in place is a bunch of ligaments. Most of them are in the backside, connecting your spine to, or the bone around your spine to your ribs. We call that the costovertebral junction. And that similarly both has cartilage as well as ligaments around it. And like we've talked about in other episodes, ligaments are a major source of pain because they create stability where there's a lot of motion, where there could be a lot of motion in the body. So your body needs a very, very robust alarm system to know if the ligaments are injured, because it could have a significant bearing on how your body moves and reacts.
And if you have ever had a friend or yourself that's had a car wreck and you felt like you've had some sort of pain that just goes straight through you almost, breathing hurts, and nobody can really figure out what it is, it was more likely the rib. Yeah, if you've got a seat belt that goes right across you, what happens? This keeps you still, the rest of your body keeps on moving, the rib takes that shear. And you're either hurting the front, like me, the side, like me, or the back, like me.
So what you can do to keep your ribs healthy, there are breathing exercises. You've got muscles that line between each rib, and there are muscles that help you both breathe in as well as breathe out. We all think about our diaphragms as our main breathing muscle, the muscle on the inside of our body, but you have breathing muscles on the outside, like across your ribs, across your back, and all of these muscles can help stabilize a rib that has been injured and is taking some time to heal and get the ligaments and cartilage stronger around it. There's a really neat study that just came out where people who had COVID and had been doing breathing exercises showed improvements not only in their breathing but also in their blood pressure and heart rate. And so they continued that study to normal healthy individuals, and they saw reductions in blood pressure by about 10 points on your systolic blood pressure. That's the higher of the two numbers, which is significant because taking medications lowers your blood pressure less than that. So breathing exercises is a nice complement to aerobic exercises because they can help improve your blood pressure and improve your lung and chest wall health.
Yeah. Now let's say you're just like me and your blood pressure's okay, but you just don't want to feel like this again. What do you do? Well, one, warm up. That's a good idea. I didn't, and I will always remember this. But two, these deeper breathing exercises you can take to a higher level. So a simple thing, just start to rotate, take a deep breath in, and blow out forcefully through pursed lips. You can feel all these intercostal muscles helping to contract it, and then as you take a deep breath in through your nose, it's expanding it. So we don't just live here with our ribs, we live here, we live here, we live with our arms above our head, because that's going to stretch it out in some different ways. And if the activity you're about to do requires you to be twisting, bending, put your arms above your head, you're going to need to do something to expose the ribs to movement, so that way it's prepped for whatever you're about to do.
Yep. Well, if you found this to be helpful, look us up on our webpage, wellwardmed.com. You can look us up around our social media like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and you'll find great content to optimize your health.
And of course, our radio show, The Wellward Way Show. Can't forget about that. That's on iHeartRadio, it's on iTunes, and of course, Spotify. We have some amazing content that you are definitely going to find interesting.
So for all of you out there, I'm Dr. Donish.
I'm Dr. Escaloni.
And we wish you health and growth and joy on your Wellward Way.
Thank you.
Bye.